Parli's legal team is, of course, to compile a list of questions to be forwarded to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Let's now get the very latest with SABC News reporter Abra Barbier, who joins us live from Parliament in Cape Town. So, Abra, you do have breaking news for us. Go ahead and tell us what was decided pertaining to how, of course, the Ad Hoc Committee is going to deal with the questioning process of President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Alicia, hello again. Yes, the committee just wrapped a few minutes ago. They had been sitting since 11 o'clock this morning, just going through housekeeping issues in terms of the schedule, what's happening with Paul O'Sullivan and Brian Mohotsi, the responding letter they got from the Speaker of Parliament. So it dragged out for quite a long time today. But at the very end, discussions around President Cyril Ramaphosa and questions that he needs to respond to in relation to the disbanding of the PKTT, that they finally came up. And there was some to and fro between MPs. It had earlier been decided or agreed upon by the committee that the president would be able to respond in writing. And then that was again just unpacked today. And when the chief whip of the ANC raised the matter of President Ramaphosa not appearing, but instead rather writing, responding to written questions by the committee, that then raised the ire or irritation and frustration of other political parties like the EFF and the MKP, who said that the president is being given unfair treatment. And the committee then took a vote on it, and essentially bulk of them have decided that the president can respond in writing. So what Parliament's going to do now, the committee, the legal team working for the committee will be drawing up a list of questions. MPs will then also have a look at these questions and give their input, after which it will go to the president. I'm not sure what the timelines are going to be in terms of how long he has to write back. But remember, the committee was hoping to finalize interviews by the 6th of February. I mean, from the 6th to the 20th, use that time to compile its report that needs to be handed to the National Assembly. So it's cutting it very, very tight for the committee. They are sitting tomorrow again. More witnesses will be appearing this week. The issue with Paul O'Sullivan and Brian Mohotsi, they are also going to be writing to the Speaker once again just to plead their case and ask the Speaker or give reasons to the Speaker why they think it's important for those two gentlemen to appear physically. So a whole lot coming out of today's meeting. But the big question, of course, is the committee going to be able to meet its deadline at the end of February? Alicia?
I mean, we understand that if members, Abra, from what you're saying, if members are not satisfied by the committee's decision, that, of course, now President Cyril Ramaphosa will only reply in terms of writing, in terms of written engagement. They can still raise this matter up with the relevant processes in Parliament. What are these?
You know, the chief whip of the ANC, Dumiseni Ntuli, he actually raised that very point where he said something along the lines of the president appears before the two houses of Parliament. He's going to be appearing as part of normal parliamentary due process, and certain things can be put to him over there as well. But of course, this committee is working with very specific information. It needs specific details in terms of its terms of reference. So parties like NK and the EFF were not happy with that suggestion at all. What the committee chairperson, Mr. Soviet Lekhanyane, did say is that yes, they are going to allow the president to respond in writing, and what happens from there basically depends on the quality, if I can say quality, of his responses. So if they are not happy with the president's responses, there is a chance they might be asking him to come and appear before them. But as I said, MKP completely unhappy, as well as Julius Malema was very upset this afternoon when the committee decided to go in that direction, and basically saying that the president is being treated differently just because he is the president of the country. There's no law protecting him from appearing before the committee like everybody else has been told to appear physically before the committee. Alicia?
Abra, who raised the matter that the president should in fact either appear before Parliament or can in fact respond in writing?
Alicia, this goes back to the very beginning of the committee when it was first established, when they first drew up the list of proposed witnesses. All political parties were basically given a wish list of who they thought should appear before the committee. And I remember in one of those first meetings, I think it was MKP who had President Ramaphosa's name on that list. There were whole other names also bandied about, like Fikile Mbalula. I remember former public protector Pusisiwe Mkhwebane, her name was also discussed, a whole bunch of names. And then the committee whittled down the witness list to what we have seen till now. And over the past few weeks, during the housekeeping meetings, the extra names have always been coming up. They've always been in the background, with some parties still saying, hey, but don't forget, I still feel we need this person to appear because this person can add value to the committee processes. So it's been an ongoing conversation to have the president respond in some way to the disbanding of the PKTT. But today, I think they just went in hard with the MK. I think they actually started the conversation today in terms of he has to appear. And then it ended up, of course, with a vote, a motion or a move to have him respond in writing, Alicia.
And a very interesting turn of events. So, Abra, then when will be privy to the list of questions that will be sent to the president? Do you know?
No, unfortunately, I don't have any timelines on that. The way EFF and MK have been pushing in terms of, well, EFF especially has been raising concern, and the DA, as a matter of fact, have been raising concern about the pace at which the committee was moving, especially in light of the subpoena for Mr. Paul O'Sullivan and Mr. Brown Mokhutsi, with those parties, as well as Action SA expressing concern that the summoning proceedings hadn't even begun yet. And the Parliament only wrote to the committee, I think, to the National Assembly, I think it was last week, and they received their response on Friday. So we don't know when the legal team is going to start with the actual letter, with the drafting of the letter, and when MPs will receive it. But I'm sure that they're not going to be sitting on this for too long, considering the timelines, Alicia.
All right, Abra, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for that comprehensive update. Abra Barbier, SABC News parliamentary reporter, of course, bringing us the very latest in those breaking news, where we understand President Cyril Ramaphosa, it has now been decided by the Ad Hoc Committee that President Cyril Ramaphosa will not, in fact, appear in person to testify before the Ad Hoc Committee or give evidence before the Ad Hoc Committee. He will, in fact, instead respond to questions in writing.